Hey, are you all ready to get this started?
Going live.
Listener discretion is advised.
Keep your head out there. They're going to do dumb. Play our game. All right? Play hard, but stay poised. Get it done.
3, gonna be savage. 2, grab your shit. 1, do it.
Let's be great. Let's be great.
Yeah, I think overall, it was just a football game against a division team that was in playoff contention. That we just didn't start fast. We had penalties, and particularly on offense. To spot them 13 points in the first half. The guys battled. We kind of semi got back into it, but I think a little bit too little, too late.
Oh my God! Who the hell cares?
Cheers, Bears fans! This is Bears Hour Live with Draft Dr. Phil Ottochian. My name is Aldo Gandia, and you just heard Bears head coach John Fox offer up another who the hell cares excuse after Saturday's crushing loss to the Detroit Lions. I was there, and if you want to learn my thoughts, head over to bearsbarroom.com where I wrote about them. Right now, I want to hear the thoughts of the good doctor. Draft Dr. Phil, how are you?
Aldo, how you doing tonight?
Man, I have been on pins and needles all day long wondering how much am I going to have to bleep Draft Dr. Phil? I'm wondering how badly are you going to go off on this coaching staff, on this organization, on this team. But most of all, I want you to talk about Mitch Trubisky and the fact that I am hearing so many people get on this young man. Let me tell you one quick story as I'm walking out of Ford Field. I had a half dozen Detroit Lions fans tell me, you guys have a great quarterback in the making. These Detroit Lions fans knew what they were talking, yet I'm looking at the back page of the Chicago Sun-Times, and it's people being critical of Mitch Trubisky. I'm like, what the heck? Even these Lions fans are smarter than the Chicago sports media. But I'm dying to hear your take on it, and so the floor is yours, Brother Phil.
Well, first, Aldo, I appreciate you giving me such a warm introduction. You know, it's the holiday season. We had an amazing contest and participation with Barflies. You documented your trip and tailgating, meet and greet with Bears Girl. Nikki, unfortunately, ran a red light, crashed into a couple donut trucks. Who the hell knows what's going on with it? But, there's so many things that this show and Bears Bar Room is bringing aside from what is transpiring in a, much like Nikki, a little Nikki crash. It's just total. You're talking about totaling your football franchise. Your head football coach is in sheer and utter Saturday Night Live cartoon character figure. They can do a skit on John Fox every weekend on Saturday Night Live, and it would be epic and hysterical because I don't know what he's even saying and what language he's speaking at this point, because it's just rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat, and it really shows in the record. 3 wins we talk about in the lyrics of the songs, Living Life, and 3 wins against divisional opponents in his 3 years as a football coach showcases preparation, strategy, having a plan to get into a competition that's 16 weeks long, and these are known opponents. For you to fumble down and piss down your leg and the knee pass, every time you get into these divisional games, you're outmatched, outcoached, And it's not like the effort's not there. It's completely and utterly the coaching errors that are labeling this team as some sort of flat tire on the side of the road. And really, ultimately, I talked a little bit off the air with Shane Marsaw, the smartest man in the bar room, earlier today. I spoke to a couple coaches. I even saw former barroom rep Jose Cotto, spoke to him for a little while. And just the many different takes that people have on this football team are very clear to me. But when it comes to my take, it feels like it all comes together from everybody. Now, when you talk about the importance of a head coach, I got into it with Olin Kreutz. I know a lot of Barflies saw and got involved and what have you. I know what I know, and that's all I know, and I go by the truth. When someone puts on a yellow jacket and goes into the Hall of Fame, doesn't mean they know more than you about the game. And someone played in the NFL, they don't know more. All those games that people play are what they are. I'm not going to say I know more than the next person. I'm on this show to tell you what I know and what I feel. And that's damn well how I'm going to roll with it. Keep it 100 every day, all day. And the biggest key factor, aside from Ted Phillips and the owners that have been consistent here, is the head coach. And recognizing Ryan Pace has a place in responsibility. We will talk about that. But when I watch football games, the difference in a game of inches is having a plan and setting a young quarterback up to succeed means you have to go further than you've even imagined that you would have to go in self-scouting so you don't give away your tells. I know Shane Marsaw put a tweet out there, appreciate him tagging me in it and keeping relevant our words here. Because Barflies, you listen in every week. Some of you are quoting us, and I know you quote the reality of the truth, who the F is Mike Burton, how the hell's he playing? But you also recognize that you hear this first. Even Aldo, I appreciate you, Aldo, putting that, recognizing Hodge talking about whatever it was, and recognize I've been talking about this forever. I don't bullshit you. It's not my job. It's not the way I have to live with what I put here and what you hear, because there's a lot of people that don't like me calling them out, and they will look to find my flaws. And I have them. I thought Manziel was going to be a great pro. Really did. Probably could have been if he had the mental fortitude. Again, I didn't get to sit down. I make mistakes. I thought John Fox was going to be a good hire here. That's a huge mistake. But I'm going to be the first one to tell you, just like the barkeep, hey, I was completely wrong about that, and we go on from there. It's the guy that pretends that they never said what they said or deletes their tweet about Deshaun Watson, Evan Silva, you POS. Those type of guys that get farther in their life and in this thing and mislead like the sheep, that pisses me off. I don't know what you stand for or tolerate, but I can't tolerate a fraud. You said what you said, own it. And that gets you right into the head coach. You hear how many excuses he's made? All the time there's an excuse attached to what it is that's transpiring. A decision that should have been 4th and 1. You're a 4-win team. Get your head out of your ass and recognize there's something bigger than field position. It's called momentum and trying to win the football game and sending a message to your fan base that Guinea Hallis, McCaskey, and her sweater vest aren't the most important thing right now. It's the goddamn team on the field. And if you catch anybody loafing or not giving a shit about the game, then it's your job as the head coach to send the message that your salary, your position on this football team means absolutely shit to me. You know what matters to me? The team. And when that says and echoes across the huddle, the locker room, the film room, wherever you are, then everybody's put on notice. This is a trash, baby, garbage men group of football coaches who have done everything in their power to confuse you and trick the masses of what it is that a football team should be. You have people to the point blaming Ryan Pace for Houston Carson's block in the back on Cohen's kick return. So that's Ryan Pace's fault because he picked that guy. That's your Chicago media. That's what's going on. There's so much bait and switch and stupidity. There's one place right here, Bears Barroom Radio Network, that's giving you the reality of the truth. That's simple, a special, truthful Christmas. It's always there, 100 proof. It's always there. Mitchell Trubisky isn't the problem. And when Olin Kreutz talks about everything's not going to get fixed, and when the host on 670, fans think that it's going to get fixed by changing the head coach. Let me say this to you: cover all your bases, cover them all. No shit, it's not going to be 100% fixed. There's going to be bumps in the road. But do you honestly think that changing a philosophy to somebody who is actually going to recognize that Mike Burton doesn't even belong in the NFL, let alone on your 53 getting more snaps than Jordan Howard? You don't think that one little switch of a decision is going to help this team? And think about a guy that goes in here and recognizes a bunch of BS that's going on and recognizes how improved I can create and help Mitchell Trubisky. You don't think that's going to change the team? 90% of the problem is the head coach and the offensive coordinator. 90. I stand by that. I won't back down to anybody. You're talking about 4th and 1. You're talking about 3rd and 6. The play calls that they call, the predictability, the stupidity, the arrogance. How are you going to run I formation with this fullback and try to run a bob play, and he's getting hit 2 yards in the backfield? You know what a bob play is? That's the fullback firing through C gap or B gap and getting on the backer a yard deep to 2 yards. If my fullback is getting hit a yard and a half in my own backfield, he's not the guy. That's any coach worth their grain of salt is going to tell you that. As a fan and as a coach in your locker room, this isn't okay. But this guy's continued to trot out there. Josh Bellamy got more snaps than Wright. Inman, Wright, Wheaton, whatever. Drops more balls. Had another drop. Granted, caught some balls. Great. You did your freaking job. We should have a fucking parade. How about that? Part of my language. Well, it boggles the mind. It boggles the mind watching this team's game plan against a known opponent. And what does that mean, Phil? What are you talking about? This is coaching now. This is knowing that you have a staff of 25 coaches, scouts, whoever in the bar room at Aldo says Phil, Shane, or Nick, or Bears Girl, or Trey Busy, or whoever. I need you to do this assignment this week. And they get it done, don't they? And they're not getting paid to get it done, but they'll get it done. So imagine you're a paid professional, folks, and you have unlimited amount of editing and cut-ups. And if I want to go every freaking play that we ran this year out of trips formation with the tight end, that'll be brought up in about 12 seconds time. Here you go, coach. It's uploaded to your Surface Pro. Go check it out. So I'm asking you, I want to see all our offensive plays that we ran out of the I formation versus Detroit in the last 2.5 years. Okay, coach, we got you. Boom. 12 minutes. It's all uploaded. And I'm bringing that to my offensive meeting. And we're going to look at what worked, what we ran. Were we showing our hand here? Were we too inconsistent? Did we always run left out of this I form? And I'm talking about formation. Just the I form. I want to know. You're doing that with all of you. You have this paid staff, these many of people that are editing tape, sending it to you. And you go out there and you show the same looks, the same bullshit that you tried before. And your opponent's waiting on you. Coaching. Coaching, Olin. That's coaching. That's setting yourself up for a turnover. It's setting yourself up for a loss. And that is your job as a head coach, as an offensive coordinator, as an assistant coach, to speak up. And when you look at this man, give you excuses. Well, we didn't want to go forward on 4th and 1 because of field position. I mean, right there is a fireable offense. But again, we pontificate on. John Fox could do nothing to get fired until Black Monday. The ownership has let you down. Ryan Pace has let you down. This Fraggle Rock HBO special of stupidity, a comedy hour of coaching, they can't be on Hard Knocks because the secret of stupidity would be out and they would be trashed as if they aren't already throughout the whole league for their inability to be prepared and to recognize that you are successful in a 2 tight end set with number 24 in the backfield. That you can get in shotgun and run and threat with him. That Tariq Cohen is a game breaker, and defenses have to account for him, and thus using him as a decoy as well as an intricate part of your offense is going to make you successful and is only going to help number 10 and number 24 and number 70 and number 65. It's a team game. Use your pieces. Nope. Get Josh Bellamy the frig out there. Let's try to get him down on a deep curl. I want to hit Josh on a curl out here. And as my friend, Greg Gabriel said, he's just calling plays. Where have you heard that before, folks? You heard me and Shane talk about that since August? Huh? I feel like I'm talking to my kids here. The Chicago media. What the hell are you talking about? We're worried about... I really felt bad for Aaron Rodgers. What? I mean... Don't you feel bad for Mitchell Trubisky? That he's being led by the king of the Barnum and Bailey circus of clowns? That's your coach. And that's on Pace for not recognizing. I know I'm going to trick people, get Glennon, whatever we're going to give and crown their ass for. Making the slick move and behind the scenes. Did Fox know? Nobody freaking knows what knows. It's like a freaking Dr. Seuss book. Who knows who? Not me, not you. This is what they're doing there. Someone write it. Drascula. Start writing the Dr. Seuss of Fox because it's an absolute clown show. up there at Alice Hall with this offensive staff. I haven't even hit on Dowell Loggins, but you get the point. The unprepared, the easy target. Let's throw 46 times when you have the third leading rusher in the NFL coming in the game. You dominated him at home, and you really went out of your way to put yourself in a negative position. Because even if you're down 13 points, Coach, as conservative as you are, how about use some formational leverages to give yourself an opportunity? You run one play, the boot fake pitch play that Howard picks up like 19 yards on it, and then you go away from him. It just utterly, on every level, makes no sense what you're seeing out there. And really, as you were talking about, I'll just lead into it. I don't want to miss out on recognizing Mitchell Trubisky is battling, trying to climb a cliff with one pick. Just one pick he's got, and he's got to try to get up this giant cliff, because that's what Dandy Dumb Dowell, little dumber boy, has given him. Because you look at the game, and a lot of fans are so indifferent. My God, this kid's a rookie, okay? He's a goddamn rookie. I've seen the best I've ever seen play in Tom Brady throw 4 picks in a game with a great coach. The best coach that's ever lived. And he's thrown 4 picks in a game. It happens when you're trying to do a lot and you got a lack of talent and you got injuries on the offensive line and you got an offensive coordinator who's not using the personnel appropriately, and he's asking you to do everything. You're going to make a mistake. And then when you get predictable on top of it, guess what? The mistakes are going to be implored up 100%. Something wrong's going to happen here. There's a flag on every goddamn play. He is the dumbest offensive coordinator that I have ever seen. Ever. It's just up and down, and when we pontificated, hold on, tap the brakes. What we saw in Cincinnati, I gotta see it here. And Shane and myself on Bears 100 Proof. Did we have an ounce of confidence in Dowell Loggins? No, we didn't. And unfortunately, what we prophesized played itself out. The pathetic showcase of offensive football that the Chicago Bears put on, because Aldo, you did an excellent job bringing to life through words your experience at the game and your experience of what you saw, and an experience with Bears girl and your daughter and the fans surrounding it. But you saw a defense trying to play with passion and heart and keeping you in a game. Mm-hmm. But really, ultimately, you're handicapped and crippled by an offensive coordinator who's guessing at what you're doing instead of defining. Now, Freudian slipped. He told you the truth weeks ago in saying the defense is we're kind of waiting. They're dictating what we do, and that's showcased right there. And in a big game for them, the Lions, they came out fired up to play and were dominating the line of scrimmage. And you're seeing guys that are questioning whether or not they want to play for John Fox anymore, on top of having a rookie quarterback have to overcome that because he wants to play, because he's competing out there. On 3rd and 18, he's throwing the deep in on a dime. That's what you want, reps. You ain't going to the playoffs, so shut your damn mouth about Mitchell Trubisky and focus in on the real target and the real issue here. Because as God is my witness, if they hire the right guy, if they get one of Phil's 10, then you're going to be in business. Because the absolute travesty that you had to experience, Aldo, is as epic as my rant of the stupidity as this.
I'm telling you, brother, this rant is unbelievable. Everybody in the chat room is saying Phil is on fire. Phil is killing it, says Brandon Janoski. Benjamin Drisgula warns you to watch out for Olin's sucker punches. Air Jair says Fox knows what a bob play is. Loggins calls it in the office every day. Trey Vizzy is just busy going after John Fox. He says the media really thinks that John Fox is a good coach, and then I can't say the rest of what Trey Vizzy says because it is blankety, blankety, blankety. Benjamin also says...
always do that. Sorry, Aldo.
It's all right.
Just touch on Trey's point.
Mm-hmm.
Every broadcast, there's this parachute landing of John Fox. Now, his story, the Bears blog today. Did you see that tweet? I mean, yes. Jeff, please, I invite you on the show. Barflies, tag him, whatever, tomorrow. I invite you on the show. You flip-flop more than Aaron Lemming with your stances, okay? I don't get how you come out with these flip-flops and this, that, and the other with John Fox and your source at Hallis or whoever. You know, they're happy with John Fox 3 weeks ago. Now they're not. All I want to know is how you're giving this credence to John Fox's career in the midst of the most epic destruction of a franchise that I've ever witnessed. In your third year, you've gotten worse, yet the same. And you know what that is? That is the ultimate doldrum of coaching mediocrity and worse. You've gotten the same, but worse. Your record has gotten a little better. Your play has gotten worse. Your disappointment has gotten worse. Everything epitomizes what you would expect in year 3 to improve. Didn't. So I don't understand how we're going to throw bouquets at John Fox. You say you salute him and you get rid of him out of town. Give him the pink slip and tell him to kick rocks. That's how you handle the situation. And I'm not a sympathetic character to a guy that's getting paid $4.5 million. He's fine. He's collecting a check now, Jeff. So come on the show with 100 proof. We'll talk. I want to know your theories on John Fox and how he was great 4 weeks ago and now he's not. But we deserve to credit this guy. It's even in the broadcast, as Trey was getting me fired up. You know, the announcers, you know, that's just John Fox. You know, he's ultra conservative. He's in his way. It don't work conservative anymore. This league is set up for the offense. Passing league, right, Aldo?
That's what it is, brother. It's a passing league, and you need a head coach who realizes it, knows it, and exploits it. What we got now is a failure to coach. Hey, I've asked folks in the chat room if they've got any questions, and Isaiah Robles immediately steps up in the pocket and delivers. He quotes Greg Gabriel, who says, people always bring up Belichick assistants when talking about potential head coach candidates. It's guys from the Andy Reid tree that have success. Rivera, Harbaugh, McDermott, Peterson are examples. Isaiah wants to know how you feel about this. You agree with your buddy Greg?
I love Greg. I look at people as individuals. I don't look at coaching trees per se. I look at the person themselves, how they coach, how they teach. That's why I got into the debate on Twitter, because I know the importance. I live with these men. I've been in many a locker room in my life from every level of football, Pop Warner all the way up to the greatest game in the world, the NFL. And you just know a head coach's stamp and fingerprints all over their team. And they're the ones that continue to get to where they're going. Now, I don't go by trees because it would be Mike Holmgren's tree and really not Andy Reid's tree, because Andy Reid came from Holmgren, who ended up coming from Walsh. And you see where I'm going with this. The epitome of football is through technique and teaching. When you have good technique and you teach good discipline, those are the coaches that are successful. Because on this level, when money's involved, there's a perfect opportunity for somebody to get paid and say, you know what, I don't give a shit anymore. This little owie I got, this bruise in my thigh, I'm going to take this week off, and I'm not going to give I'm already getting paid. So it's very easy for them. The fantasy football fan listening in doesn't get that, and the kid that's never played doesn't get that, but that's why you need the maniacal manipulator. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I learned from the best. I do it myself with my own kids, and to just give you perspective, I was talking to Shane about it. I go, the head coach has to be a master manipulator. You got to know what tweaks a guy's anger and frustration, as well as when to love them and pat them on the back. And each and every one of those individuals is different. And it's the coaches that take the time out to know, I just coach off it. No, I want to know everybody on this football team. I want to get to know them. I want to get to know the personality. I want to make fun of them. I want to put them in situations where they got to laugh at themselves. Those kind of coach. I want to be involved in every goddamn play and decision. I want to know what we're doing, where the game plan is going, what matchups. I want to be involved with that. That maniacal guy is what's going to get this team. It's not what tree they come, what philosophy. You know, for cohesiveness, yes, you want a guy to come in and believes in the 3-4 defense. But Mike Tomlin's a perfect example of a guy who was a 4-3 guy, came into Pittsburgh and was a defensive coordinator and gave that role to Dick LeBeau, and they ended up going to Super Bowls. You have to be able to adapt. You got to recognize what your personnel does best. That guy, to me, obviously is on my list at number 2 in McDaniels. And I believe in second chances, and I believe I've been in the situation where I've made a mistake and I've had to learn from it. Granted, I didn't lose my job for it, but that mistake made me a better worker, better person, better coach. And I believe that you got to look at this football coach and get him in the process, because the specialty of understanding quarterback play and offensive philosophy, I mean, does anybody do it any better than the Patriots? I live there in this backyard here. I watch it. I see it. I have to hear from my father about it all the time, because he grew up as a New York Giant fan, and then just has his love for coaching has made him such a adamant New England Patriot guy, because you just see technique taught, hand placement all the way down to where they're going to take advantage of somebody. So I don't necessarily agree, Isaiah. I gave you the long answer, but if they needed one, that it's got to come from any tree. Obviously, if you look at my 10 list, there's guys from Andy Reid and Mike Holmgren's, tree. There's a guy on there who just beat us, Jim Bob Cooter. These guys got to be interviewed. Again, that's part of this process. What is going to fit? I'll tell you what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of the Chicago Bears bringing in Ernie again. It's in a song, Aldo. I put it in the song. Don't bring Ernie in. Just let the GM do his hiring. That's the important process here. And really, I think those candidates that you have are the ones that you got to go with. And if someone pops up, I know people were talking, and we talked about this guy with you, Aldo, the kid from Philly, the QB coach there. Oh, my God. What's his name?
Help me out, chat room.
Bobby. What's that?
I asked for the chat room to help us out. Yeah,
someone asked me today.
Offensive coordinator with Philadelphia Eagles is, let's see, whoever comes up with the answer first.
Obviously, you got Frank Reich was on the list, but the quarterback coach over there, they got LaFleur.
DiFilippo, Frankie Myers.
DiFilippo. Thank you, Frankie.
Isaiah Robles says Bobby Portis.
Huh?
Isaiah Robles said Bobby Portis, who plays basketball for the Chicago Bulls.
No.
Yeah, DiFilippo's your guy.
DiFilippo, obviously, you got to get this guy in there. He might blow you away.
Mm-hmm.
If he's maniacal and a leader of men and has a plan. That's why, there's firms out there. There's coaching clinics and coaching schools that are going to teach these coaches how to interview. These agents the coaches have. Just like the preparation for the NFL draft, there's coaching schools and how to prepare yourself to be a head coach and what NFL teams are listening for, those key words and what have you, and plans. But the measure of a man obviously is in the plan, and actions are going to speak louder than words. But in a situation where you're interviewing, you have to be able to mesh with the GM. Do we know if Ryan Pace is going to be here? I don't know. There could be a chance he gets fired. Do we really know what that chance is? Probably is small. In my
Very
eyes.
small, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right. It's like a 2% chance, but who knows? He's not free from issues here. But obviously, if he's the guy moving forward, he needs to be the one selecting the head coach, not Ernie, not an outside firm. Get the list together through football men and your connections and some freaking screwballs. What I mean by that are guys that might not be on the quote-unquote good old boys list. You need to find the right guy at all costs that is going to recognize that 10 is the most important number in Chicago, and that's Mitchell Trubisky. Nothing else matters. Not your guards, not is Leonard Floyd going to come back healthy, is Kevin White ever going to be – all that personnel shit matters zero. It is about finding the guy that has the plan for number 10 that involves using the running game. We always say it, a running game is going to help your quarterback to improve the number 10. And whoever that person is, doesn't matter what tree. I am never going to be biased. Remember the guy, Aldo? Well, you don't take running backs from Penn State after Blair Tah and this one failed and Larry Johnson comes out there and he blows up the scene. You don't do that. Oh, I'm scared. Aaron Lemon would tell you, you don't draft a white running back. That's what he'll tell you. Me, I don't look at skin color, you bitch. I look at a football player because I actually know football, as so many of the Barflies do. We're not going to look at someone's color of skin and then say, I wouldn't draft him in the top 10 because he's white. And people follow this guy. Are you kidding me? But if you don't believe me, we can pull it up for you. Dusty Rhodes is excellent. Dustin Padilla, Reagan Padilla down in Florida. Excellent. Digging up a tweet.
Yeah, he is.
So I kid you not, folks that are new to listening. This is about 10. This is about doing the right things and understanding that there is no rules when it comes to trees and coaching trees or schools or color of skin. Rules are broken. Remember everybody draft day? Who the hell is this kid from North Carolina A&T? Oh, my God. He said it's small and small from a small school. I know everything about the draft. What happened? Everyone's craving for this kid to get more touches because he's a goddamn game breaker. You fill in the blank there who I'm talking about because it wasn't just one person. It was so many people, yet I'm on a show post-game talking about how explosive this kid is and how he could be the Tyreek Hill of the Bears. Aldo has the audio of that.
Yeah, I do.
So, who are we going to listen to? Mulligan Hanley's dumbasses in the morning talking about Aaron Rodgers and how they're concerned and they were upset that I felt bad for him. You don't feel bad for the Packers ever. I would blitz the shit out of that guy and break his collarbone again. There would be no bounty. It would just be go out there and hit him. If you're a pro, I want him on the ground. There's no hold up. That's how I coach in real. And Roger Goodell would kiss my ass because I would coach. That's how we roll. We are going to go after the quarterback, put him out. That would be our goal. There's no money. You're a pro. Get out there and do it. That's your job. Hit somebody. You don't want to play? You don't want to hit? Why are you here? There's the door. And Ryan Pace could deal with you. That's what you need in your locker room. A guy that is, and Shane and I talked about it. Sorry, Leonard. You want a loaf? Get your ass on the bench. See ya. I don't even want to see you. And then guess what? Leonard's better for it forever. Because Coach Phil, he ain't ever going to let me forget it. I ain't going to loaf again. That is coaching. That is what your expectation is. And that is the guy we need. We need that maniac. And everyone jokes about Jimmy Harbaugh like he's a weird dude. The guy is a master, an absolute master, Jeremy. I know you don't believe, but look at the 49ers and how far they've fallen. That franchise, when he left. In the Super Bowl, for God's sake, they couldn't win a game when he left because he was a master. Yes, he had talent. He made that talent. He recognized where to put it with Vic Fangio and make people good. That's what you need in Chicago. And that's what you have to get. A crazy SOB that every play matters to them. And that's what you don't have here.
Got a question from Frankie Myers regarding his coaching issue. He was it him that was really for Brad Childress? In any case, yeah. Okay, so he's now saying one of
comb over.
The comb over, exactly. He's now wondering one of Matt Nagy's biggest concerns was that he hadn't called plays for the offense. Well, since he took over play calling duties from Childress 3 weeks ago, the Chiefs have been averaging about 30 points. What are your thoughts about Matt Nagy?
Really love the guy's philosophy. I'm all about what you see them doing. It fits Chicago's personnel. When you watch the Chiefs, obviously I compare Tariq Cohen with Tyreek Hill. It's a fair comparison. Obviously, Hill has a fifth gear where Cohen has that fourth turbo. Hill is just dynamic in speed, but similar in the explosive department. Then you got Jordan Howard and Hunt. It's very similar. Athletic full running backs that are bigger and can bowl over people. You look at their defense. You look at the quarterback. I think Mitchell Trubisky could be better than Alex Smith. Nagy really has an understanding of how to create matchups and use counter to formation. Everything you hear me talking about Dowell not doing, I'm not a spread guy, honestly. My favorite offense is Army's offense, running that inverted bone and using the counters and the options and going. Somehow, some way, I would incorporate that into the NFL. It's going to be next. You guarantee you that. Just mark that in your memory bank. Next year or the year after that, people are going to go inverted bone, motion the guy in the back, action off of it, and get these free running backs down. There's so much you could do out of it. But anyway, that kind of mismatch, trickery, formational, using the spread to run the shuttle pass or option, those false looks, coming back with a counter, and then getting into power game and really hammering home heavy counter plays, the counter tray, bringing it back to those plays off of the formations and the alignments. You got to have feel. You have to have a feel to call plays and understand your matchups. And how do you do that? By what we talked about to begin the show. Nagy has that, Frankie, and I really like, what you've seen from him and what I've heard through my connections on that football coach has been very positive. Is he the head coach? I don't know. That's what I said. He's one of those, I would classify him as a screwball. He's the guy that comes in there and really has an understanding. It's all about leader of men. It really is. And being maniacal. That guy that has a plan and is going to put it in the right place. Who's the next, Vic Fangio, the young defensive coordinator come up? Do you know who it is? None of us do. They know who that is, and they have to have a belief in it and go after those guys, and really guys that are going to motivate players to give 110% when it matters most. And you look at the Kansas City Chiefs getting back into this playoff race and how they play the offensive position, it's exciting. And it's somebody who I'd put in the screwball category, Alba.
Great stuff, Doctor. Great stuff. And the people in the chat room are having a hell of a time. It's like they brought their own booze and they're just swigging and making all sorts of Kevin White jokes. I'll share a couple with you.
Kevin White jokes.
Trey Vizzi writes, Kevin White tries to hit someone, his bones would probably evaporate like dust. Brandon Janoski says Kevin White is bagging groceries over at the Jewel. Benjamin Drizgula says he's pretty sure Kevin White is in traction at this point with a full body cast. And Brandon comes back and says they tried to have Kevin White call the plays, but he broke the headset. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Good.
All right.
Yeah, Kevin White. Wow.
Yeah,
man.
You wrote that really beautiful Kevin White Christmas, and and just listening to it over the weekend, I was thinking to myself, man, wouldn't it be great if this guy came back next year and really lived up to the dreams that we had when he was drafted? Because this guy does have raw ability. Now, you've been very critical of him in terms of the fact that he probably hasn't studied the playbook as well as he should. He probably should have been coached a little harder and not been rewarded for
coddled.
He was coddled and so forth. And I think those are all very valid points. But it would be nice.
Once again, Aldo, coaching. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. You really, when you talk about coaching, you know what you're talking about, because everything that just about 95% to 100% what you've talked about coaching with this Bears staff has just come out true. What you have been preaching, we've seen it borne out. The play calling, the way that the coaches are being are utilizing player personnel and so forth and so on. It just goes on and on. It really is ridiculous. Listen, I want to know from you, what do you think is going to happen this Christmas Eve with the Bears and the Browns? Do you think that Fox is going to hit rock bottom and this team is not going to go out and play for him?
I think they're going to go out and play. I think this loss, the leaders in the locker room, like Akeem Hicks, are going to make it known to the locker room that was unacceptable. This is from what I heard. Mm-hmm. They were very upset, embarrassed watching the tape at the effort, both sides of the football and special teams, the whole gambit. So I think they're going to go out. I can't say they're going to win. Are you going to say they're going to win this football game?
I don't have confidence right now. I really don't.
You can't. And really, ultimately, what are they going to do? We said, well, tap the brakes after the Bengals performance where they put up 33 points. They look like they're hitting the holes and what have you. I know some people have talked about the Bengals linebackers, and they were young and they were confused. okay, they're pros. We've played with stupid linebackers, and we've had to suck that up with Mel Tucker. It does matter, 100% agree.
Mm-hmm.
But to come back and perform against a divisional known opponent the way they did and totally turn away from what it is they never do, that's run the football. I mean, without that running game, you don't win against Baltimore, you don't win against Pittsburgh, and you don't win against Carolina. And you don't win against Cincy. So you see a common thread there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, it's just a showcase of the sheer stupidity. But looking at the Browns, that's what they're going to have to do, is remedy this by Jordan and Howard. And really, ultimately, it's like playing blackjack with this staff. There's no consistency. Do you think a New England Patriot fan is on a podcast, an analyst over there talking about their concern whether or not Bill Belichick is going to be prepared for the next week's opponent? Are they going to get away from using Gronkowski? Do you think they even waste a sentence of that? No, they don't. The reality is that is Chicago. That is Fox. That was Tressman. That is the last three coaches, Lovie Smith on offense, concerns. This is going on too long. So I want to make a real, this is Ben Philatotian's point and nobody else's point for the Barflies. Because I'm the one who continued to say it when Jay Cutler was here. And before that, if you could pay Mike Glennon $18 freaking million to be the shittiest quarterback I've ever seen in a Bears uniform, or we can debate who's shittier of the shittiest. If that's the game you want to play, fine. Jonathan Quinn was shittier then. But he's in the same freaking blue margin of shit. If you could spend $18 million there, then you could spend 10, 11, 13 million on a coach that you believe in. If it's Jim Harbaugh, to get him out of there and turn around your franchise and make you a winner. Like I said to Aldo, my kids the last time weren't born. In 2002, I think, the New England Patriots didn't make the playoffs. They've made it every year since. Every year, they got a chance. Imagine being that. I remember when Ditka was here, all the way 80s, 92, we're still in the playoffs, the year they fired him. The expectation was that they win. Where did that go? You kept a 3-win football coach on to help a rookie quarterback. That was a huge mistake when everybody knew. Aldo, champion that you are, you did it. Money does not matter. It's not your money. It isn't. Your money went to the shirt, the sweatshirt. They took your money. You want to win, right?
Oh, yeah.
Starts with the freaking head coach. They're not worried about it. All right, 5-year, $60 million for the coach. I'm just throwing any number out there. So whatever that is, math blogger, a year, and what have you, and the bonus, and that investment is better than a guy with a C holding a clipboard getting pushed over by Akeem Hicks. It's not even close. So stop telling me what can and can't and what the league is. The league has broken. Every year they do stupid stuff. The catch in Pittsburgh isn't a catch. Zach Miller's catch, the asterisk catch, isn't a catch. Nothing is consistent. The only thing consistent is the money that they're making. So let's stop worrying about it
and worry about getting the right coach. Because that fullback in the backfield is making almost $1 million this year for doing nothing. He's making more money than anybody in the chat room combined in 1 year. Think about that. To not be good at what he does. So do you think we need to get and pay the right guy to fix this after failing over and over and over and over again? Stop worrying about money. Alshon, $17 million. Give it to him. Gives a shit. Get every freaking receiver wet. I don't care. Who cares what Aaron Leming thinks it hurts the cap? The cap goes up. You got $25 million you haven't spent. You're going to have 90, maybe 112 that you could spend when you cut this one. All these math equations. I can manipulate the cap to fit everybody in. You got to spend. You got to get talent here. It sucks. Receivers suck. Coach sucks. Offensive line sucks. Your offensive coordinator sucks. Time to help him out. That young quarterback does not suck. Does not suck. It's atrocious. Props to Air Jer for putting the freaking front page. Props to Aldo Gandia for calling the Sun Times out. It's disgusting. I warned you about this. Same thing they did to Jay Cutler. Going to do to this young kid. You kidding me? He's the least of the problems. He's the stat scout's dream. Well, he threw 3 picks. Watch the game. Note the game. I purposely tagged him in a tweet. As you all retweeted. I pinned it to my Twitter account if you didn't see it. Because I know the master manipulators that the media are going to make this about Mitchell. And he's a bust. He's a bust after not even a full season. He's a bust after all of the critics are talking about the lack of talent and the offensive line injuries. He's a bust after the tight end that you spent isn't on the field. He's a bust after you give the running back that's one of the best in the league, top 5 running back, top 3 in my book. You don't even give him a carry. 7 carries. He's a bust. He's a bust. That's all you're going to hear. I expect that from a Green Bay fan. I expect that from somebody jealous, another fan. I don't expect that from professionals. It's disgusting. And it truly is a way to get clicks. And the sheep are following. People say you're the dumbest fan base. You're starting to make me believe that crap. And that's why we're here, for this reason. It's why the Barflies attract and unite. Because people are smart like Trey Busy, like Air Jer, like Isaiah Robles, Frankie Myers. Well, somewhat Frankie. Comb over, no. But I love you, Frankie.
Frankie's the best.
Oh, excuse me. But we can't let this media, as Aldo perfectly put it, rule the day and ruin the quarterback. Destroy his confidence. The coaching staff and people I know in the league feel so bad for Trubisky, so bad for Bears fans. That's the chorus, other than the ones they sing to me on my voicemail of my parody songs. I get the voice message on how disappointed they feel as professionals towards what Trubisky is having to overcome. And if he's worth his grain of salt, which I think he is, he's a competitor, that he's going to feel a really sense of relief with a guy that's going to come in here next, hopefully, and have a plan for Trubisky.
Phil, listen to the music. It means that our show is coming to a close. But we're going to read some of the comments from the chat room. And I got to tell you, man, this chat room today, there was something special in the drinks, man. There's an edge to everybody's comments. You know, people are really, really angry. That performance on Saturday against the Lions has really got people on edge. Let me read some of this stuff. First of all, here's a compliment. Benjamin Drisgula says that he loves it when you do that nerdy voice imitation of the Chicago media. I agree with him, man. That is classic. Benjamin also says that he's waiting for John Fox to punt on third down. He's such a moron. Trey Busy,
oh my God.
Really. Trey Busy says there are 3 things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and that John Fox is going to say something insanely idiotic in a post-game press conference. But on another note, in 2 weeks, Trey says he's going to be drinking some whiskey to celebrate that prick being fired. Isaiah Robles says that Grasu needs to go along with Fox and Burton. And Trey Busy says, I wouldn't let Dow Loggins coach my dog in a dog competition. Brandon Janoski says, I'll feel bad for Aaron Rodgers when I shoot a unicorn out of my penis. Trey Busy says, I wonder who Pace and the McCaskies are going to hire as out of the CFL to coach the Bears next season.
Oh, my God.
Ryan D'Onofrio wonders, can we start a Kickstarter campaign to buy out Burton's salary and hope that he retires? How true is that? Brian Quinn has a beauty of a comment in the chat room. He says that he took up meditation after the Lions game and he wants to thanks Mr. Magoo.
No.
A lot of people were really concerned about your blood pressure during your rants on tonight's show. Benjamin Drisgula wonders if anyone's got some good meds for you. I volunteered some of my high blood pressure medicine, but Trey says that it's better for you maybe to have some whiskey and a good steak. Oh, man.
I get fired up, Aldo, because this is important. This is pro football, 2017. Chicago Bears have become a joke to the Lions.
How about that?
That is a team that went 0-16. They're trying to change their identity. The Chicago Bears are the charter franchise. If it wasn't for George Halas, there'd be no NFL. You owe it to the ground roots to see the pieces like Akeem Hicks and Danny Trevathan, an excellent story by Trey Busy out there at Bears Barroom. You owe it to these guys that play to win, to turn this thing around. And right now, the shit show that is John Fox and company it's way too over. It should have been after the Green Bay game. And that's really on pace. And I know we didn't get to talk much about him, but I want to mention one other thing that I didn't get into.
Go for it, brother.
This situation of coaching, and I'm going to go under that umbrella, is personnel use too. Because how in your right mind can anybody say on a 3-win team, or 4-win team rather, that you're going into this game against Detroit and you're not going to assess what you have in a guy in DeAndre Hall that you had making the 53-man roster over Brzezinski, who you cut, and ultimately you put him on the football field to start. When you're going down the stretch to assess talent moving forward into the future, you're playing a guy that's a veteran, that's an average special teams player. Granted, he got hurt. I don't want to see anyone get hurt. But you can't even get the kid Hall in the game. Now all of a sudden it's Dion, what's his name? Freaking Dion. Number 26. I don't know why I have lost his name in my head tonight.
I'm sorry, I can't help you with that one.
The kid from Miami. 4th round pick. What's his name, Driscoll?
Bush.
Bush, Dion Bush.
Brandon Janowski to the rescue.
Thank you, Brandon. One of my linebackers there, Brandon and Mueller. Be playing. I'm going to start getting Barfly positions.
Oh, I love that.
2018. I'm going to start putting people in positions because I always say you're stepping up in the pocket. Look at this guy. This guy's going to play strong safety. Step in if he's got a pass run or whatever it is. Janowski's going to play inside linebacker with Mueller. Those are my inside backers. Even though Trey Biz is putting up 315, I have to put him outside on the edge. Looks like an athlete. Freaking next to Lamar Houston. Triscula obviously be kicking. The lights don't distract him. But honestly, the whole Hall thing right there, I mean, that's coaching to me. Assess that kid. Rotate him and Bush in there. Przinski starting tells you all you need to know about where this staff is and how much the GM is involved. Because I don't know if I'm a GM that even works for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is somebody going to convince me that we need to start Przinski? Wait a second. I invested 4th-round picks in these players. I'd like to see if they could play and watch that they could. I wanted to make sure I put that out. It's just another thing with this coaching staff. I'm glad that a travesty.
And I got to tell you, Benjamin Triscula says that he can't be any worse than Connor Barth if you put him at Oh man, I could sit here and read these comments in the chat room all night long. We had some really outstanding comments, fellas. Thank you all for bringing it.
They bring it.
We're gonna be
Barflies Unite.
Let's remind everybody that we are not doing Bears Hour Live on Monday next week because it is Christmas Eve. What is it, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? It's one of those Christmas occasions. And so
Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day, so we're moving it to Saturday. But don't worry, I won't let you forget because we'll be advertising it all over social media to remind you that on Saturday we'd love for you to stop in live. What we are doing on Christmas Day, right here on Mix LR, is we're going to be playing all of the Christmas songs. Plus, check this out. Man, this is a major announcement. Phil Ottochian is going to be interviewed by a special guest, a secret special guest. I'm not going to give it away. That's called
Santa?
That's called a tease. You're going to want to tune in Christmas Day just to find out who is it that's going to interview Phil Ottochian about all of these great songs. It's not going to be me. It's not going to be Shane Marsaw. It's not going to be
celebrity guest.
It's a celebrity guest, and it's going to be a heck of a time. I can't wait to listen to it. I'm certainly going to stop all the Christmas fun at our house where we sit around and yell at each other, and I open up gifts of shower curtains.
Bed Bath & Beyond.
Exactly.
20% off coupon.
Batty Hello asked me, what time are we doing this show on Saturday, the Bears Hour Live next Saturday? I don't know. What time are we doing it, Phil? I thought we were doing it in the morning. Well, I'll get back to you on that.
We got to get back to you on that. Cause
guys asking the tough questions.
Aldo hasn't prepared this time. But I'll be ready.
I know you will.
I'm going to be fired up probably.
Yes, you will. But the Christmas Day show is going to be running throughout the day.
I'm excited about this Christmas Day show, Aldo. Can I just say one thing?
Please.
I don't know who the celebrity interviewer is. It could be Chris Rock. I know Aldo's very cool with Adam Sandler. So we're excited. I feel as though you're going to listen to the show. This is going to be highlights from Bears 100 Proof, right, Aldo?
Yeah.
In this show.
I gotta interrupt you a second because we've got some people guessing as to who it might be. Isaiah Robles wonders if it might be Will DeWitt of the Bears Brothers, or
that would be awesome.
Or might it be Larry Mayer really throwing some softball questions at you? Ben Triscula writes that one.
No charge for a shout.
And our man Nicky says, if it is Larry Mayer, then nothing could be gayer.
Well done.
Very well
Nothing
done.
like a quote, a fulfilled lyric.
Batty is hoping that it is Zach Miller doing the interview. Man, oh man, I wish I could tell you guys, but I am not going to mention. I'm not going to mention.
Be it.
All right.
Olin Kreutz might stop in.
Phil, give us your last thought, and then why don't you close the show with your saying, okay? Go for it anytime.
My final thoughts is a thank you to the Bears Barroom team. That is Aldo Gandia, the super producer, the Godfather, the smartest man in the barroom who does absolutely nothing other than show up and just talk. No, Shane does a lot with the creative side, writing, and bringing these segments and everything together. Thank him. And always finding the obscure, stupid tweet. Obviously, it's just epic. And Bears Girl with the story sharing of her life and how she became a Bears fan. Tremendous, very moving and touching stuff, as well as her efforts in bringing to life my creativity in these songs. That, you know, I got to thank the Barflies just getting involved and wanting the CD and bringing Bears Barroom up and promoting the show and sending it to your friends and doing the extra. That really means a lot, because we do put a lot of time and energy into the stuff to give you the quality that you guys have taken the time out to endorse. That's all we would love and expect out of you. And I just got to say, and Nicky, I can't forget Nick, Fender Bender Nick. We got so many Nick, Lil Nick. Lil Nick's going to step up in the new year. I got some assignments for him, Trey Busy, Frankie, Isaiah Robles.
Oh, yeah.
So Isaiah might be joining the team. We got things going on. So I just want to thank the Barflies, really. This has been a tough year, and without the creativity that Aldo has brought and allowed to come on this network, as well as the Barflies reacting to it, from sending us your videos like Big Bear and AJ, and Sandy Tom sent a freaking Scottish rap video, for God's sake. Singing, it's all started with the Firefox song and the anthem.
That's right.
Let's not forget about who did this first.
That's right.
And our anthem continues to play. I'm going to send Aldo a video of my son requesting it tonight and doing this dance.
Awesome.
It was epic. But you guys have been tremendous, and it's just going to propel this show as we get more Barflies in. And we really, Aldo, as Shane said, endorsed, he gives you an opportunity if you really want to write or do something for the show to make it better. If you are a Barfly with passion like that, that's what we want with you. We're tired of the frauds. We're tired of the lies. And we're tired of people that can't take 2 seconds out of their day to stand up for the truth. Those guys that do, in unison, from the Demon House to the Barflies lighting up their Christmas trees and sharing those, and the special stories like Bears Girl about how they became a Bears fan, which was a great idea by somebody, Sandy Tom or somebody, giving that to Aldo for New Year's to tell us your story. And we're going to put it on here because we care about you. That's the difference. I care about you. And I really hope you understand that I do. And I think Aldo does the same. And really, I'm always going to take the extra time because I'm Italian. But it's deserved here because it is that season. And we're going to come at you the day before Christmas Eve and really give you a preview of what's going to transpire. And Aldo is really putting together, and I'm excited about the Christmas Day show. That's going to be fun to to listen in and be a part of. So, as Aldo always says, if you're gonna drink, do it responsibly. But I always say, bear the F down and change this town.
Oh, you always bringing a rap to it. That's awesome.